reflections. You didn't play, so what did that mean coming into today's practice?
Well, it means that Philly better have a good performance tonight. How about that? Look, it was a trip that, went sideways. The rain was coming sideways a little bit, and it was coming down. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. Control the controllables. We would have obviously, again, played the game, but, I think it was the right decision at the end, so we're just going to move on. We're going to focus on Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, just with the opportunity, you obviously...
Well, there's no opportunity.
A couple players missed it?
Well, if you're asking me, if you're lining me up towards the injury report, did it help us? Not really, because guys weren't there. I mean... we would have played the game with the guys that were fit. The guys that were back here, still here, Steph, JP, Albert, who else? Reed, wouldn't have helped them. Rodillo. I mean, maybe your point, you know what, actually, it's a good question because it would have maybe done Yaimar some good because I was going to try and get him into the game. So that, yes, that would have been helpful.
Is it one less region day and maybe you work more on?
No, it was the same. Look, we got home at 4:30 in the morning. Some guys that had to drive longer than I did, maybe even later than that. So Sunday, Monday recovery. There were a couple guys in yesterday for treatments, but normal.
We saw Albert and Yaimar here. Albert seemed to be full on practice this summer.
They're full. Yeah.
How's he looking for this?
Who?
Albert.
Good. He's looking good. He should. Again, knock on wood, provided there's any sort of setback this week, he should be available.
How about Steph McClain drop Aldrin?
Steph, maybe. JP, maybe. Let's see later in the week. I mean, they run, different schedules.
Going back to the Philadelphia trip, going through the motions of traveling across the country, is there any positive you can take from the experience of just having to go even though you didn't play at all?
I mean, again, we would love to play the game. I don't know if there's any positives. Maybe next time we go back there, the pitch will be playable and we're going to play them, on a nice field and measure up. I don't know.
Brian, Albert ready for minutes or ready
for minutes?
What does he... you spent all off-season or all preseason with him in a pretty key role for you.
Yeah.
It seemed like his return was a pretty big decision, like a pretty big part of your off-season in terms of exercising his option. Is there some relief to being like, okay, we're getting back to what we worked on all preseason?
Sure. But it's one piece. I mean, we still got Pedro. We still got, Yaimar coming back in. We still got Reed. We got some big pieces missing. But yes, any reinforcement, Jeremiah, is a positive one.
Any no new injuries, I presume, or are there new injuries?
No.
Do you guys plan on regrouping after missing this week's match, or last weekend's?
Well, there's no real regrouping. It's just we're doing the same training rhythm. Everything's the same.
When it comes to Colorado, I mean, early look on what you're expecting. I mean,
Good result they had last. New coach. Good squad. Good goalkeeping.
Great.
It's decent.
Have you had a chance to look at their film yet?
No, we're going to start that this afternoon. I mean, we took highlights and watched some of the games when we were sitting in the locker room doing nothing. But yeah, we'll start the film review this afternoon.
Last week I asked you about Philly, how they were good at home. So I'll rephrase the question and say an opportunity for you to,
for sure.
Like Fortress, but like a place.
Yeah. Well, the game against Austin wasn't a 3-point victory, but there were some positive things. We'll try and expand on that, extend our possessions, get our possession right, build up, all that. But then, the key will be scoring goals.
And when you talk about extending possession, you said obviously it helps you on defense and offense. What's the critical key there to go from left side to right side? Is that part of it, right? Like you're on the left and you link to the right?
If I'm listening to your question, what I would say is decision-making by the team, by various members of the squad. Do they cross the ball? Who's inside the box? Are they open? How many numbers are in the box versus not crossing the ball, coming back around, finding something else. Those decisions the team has to make. They have to be better there.
How does Albert help in that?
He's a smart, experienced player, but Albert will help us score goals.
And when it comes to Yammer, is he needs some minutes before he's even ready to start, or where is he
He might
at
start.
rhythm wise?
He might start. I don't know, Nico. He looked pretty good today.
When it comes to that partnership, I mean, is it just something that he's going to be able to catch, or
He'll be rusty. Look, to make sure everybody expectations for Ymar, he hasn't played in a long time. This would be his first preseason game. So let's just make sure that we kind of put him in there. Let's see how it goes. But obviously he's a big part of the squad, and him and Jackson played enough together that, yes, the answer to your question is they should be able to figure it out. But Ymar as an individual, he needs to, kind of get his feet back.
In how Javier's play,
Javi's been good. I mean, he's going to Ecuador. He's done well. Or he's going to New York for the games. But
NWSL season starts this week. Do you take any interest in that?
yeah, for sure. I mean, Lorraine is going to be a good team. I have complete faith in Laura. So, good luck.
in similar terms, what are you seeing out of like the Tacoma Defiance team and some of that talent that's there?
He's done a good job. I mean, they had a practice game, but I got the report. Things are looking good. It's great having them out here. We had Kalani up here today. We had Stewie down there, Sota for the game on the weekend. Good interactions, good mix. He's in my early morning coaches meetings all the time, so he knows what we're talking about, and that filters down through Defiance, so it's good.
Hey, Brian, MLS put out something today just about players and that honor Ramadan. Just how much is that? Do you talk to the trainers about your certain players?
It's laid out there, very specific. We are very respectful of the players that observe Ramadan and the things that they go through. So we will do as much as we can. And the league actually puts out a memo, so at sundown there's a water break if needed and stuff like that. So we're very respectful of that.
You've always been respectful of communities and other people, but just how important is that for you to see your league and your team honor communities?
I think it's a good thing. I mean, it seems common sense to me, but I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
On Pedro de la Vega, how involved has he been? Where is he mentally, just kind of watching his team progress? Have you talked to him at all?
I haven't talked to him since we've been back. We see him in there every day. Seems like an upbeat kid, but I know he's down. I know he wants to play. Every player wants to play, but certainly a guy where expectations, the signing, you saw how excited he was. He took the ball. He was going to take that penalty. He wants to play for the club. So it's there.